Hi guys. So I know a lot of people have had some questions about Lab 6, so I thought I would sort of do kind of brief walkthrough through the assignment. That way you can see how to complete it. And this is something I do and when I teach this lab in person, so I'm happy to do a video for it. All right, so I've already opened up the instructions. I have them open in Word, okay? And so what you need to do next is, click on the Excel spreadsheet, okay? And you'll scroll down here and we're going to download and open up with Excel or whatever spreadsheet application you happen to be using. All right, so let's get rid of that. And, sorry, let me flip these around here. Okay, so we're going to enable editing. And I'm going to keep the spreadsheet like this and our instructions here. Okay, so tip distribution. You are a server at a restaurant in Portland. You must tip the bartender 15% of the drink total and the server assistant 10% of the total tip amount left. All right, that's just telling you what's happening. Okay, so first thing you want to do, your name here. Let's change that. Okay, so this is just formatting, like a type, formatting your spreadsheet. Okay, you can change date. Today is, what day is it? Thursday, December 6th. I promise I can type normally. Okay, December 6th. Okay, and that's fine. All right. So you can do this now or you can do this later. This is talking about serving the spreadsheet. I recommend sometimes for my students to save as they go because in our lab, the computers sometimes get unplugged and they lose all of their work. It doesn't auto-save. So that's something you can do if you want now or you can do it later. Let's move on to the next step. Insert a column between the drinks and the tip left columns. Okay, so in order to insert a column, you highlight the column that you want to insert a column next to. Okay, so we're doing this between drinks and tip left. So usually you'll highlight like that. Okay, you do a right click with your mouse and click insert, and it'll insert the column there to the left of whichever column you happen to highlight. Okay, so if I wanted one here, I do the same thing. I don't want one there, so I'm going to undo that. But now we've inserted a column. Okay, type the label subtotal in cell D6. So here's D, here's 6. Okay, you could tell we're working in cell D6. It tells us right there. So we're going to call this subtotal. Okay, now I ask you to calculate the food and drink subtotal. Okay, so what does that mean? We're going to add these two together. Okay, simple way to do this. Highlight the two columns that you want to add. Come over here to your little summation button. Press it, and look at that. Okay, it did our addition for us. You see this green little arrow in the corner? That lets you know that behind this number there's a formula in there. So if I click inside this cell, okay, this is the formula that's actually inside there. And when I highlight it here, it's telling you what it's doing. All Excel formulas start with an equal sign, okay? Sum, and we're doing the sum of cells B7 through C7 and coming up with the total there. Okay. Now, we don't want to have to do that the whole way down, even though that's really easy. So we could just right click in our cell, copy, paste all the way down, and voila, it's done. Okay? The easiest thing I think when you've got this little action going on here in Excel, press escape, it'll get rid of that. Okay, so we've calculated the food and drink subtotal. Now, in column F, enter a formula to calculate the tip percentage of the subtotal. Okay, so here we have column F, right? Let's go ahead and make this a little larger so we can see what the labels say, okay? You just click in between the columns and it'll resize them accordingly. So we want to figure out the total, let's see, sorry. Under formula, calculate the tip percentage of the subtotal. Okay, so here's our tip left, which is $6 on a $41.75 bill. So how are we going to figure out the percentage of that? Okay, first of all, you start off with your equal sign. Okay, and then, okay, so how are we going to figure this out? We're going to divide the tip left. Okay, so you click inside the cell, see it highlights it and puts in the cell name right there. You're going to divide, so that's the slash, and we're going to divide it by this, by the subtotal of their bill. All right, press enter. Okay, you're going to get a number that looks something like this. All right, so yet again, we're going to copy and we're going to paste all the way down here. Okay, so we've just figured out the percentage of the tip rate. Okay. Format the results with percent style with one decimal place. Okay, so how do we format? Highlight everything you want to format. Okay. Right click, good old right click. Except I may have messed it up there, sorry. Highlight, right click, and we're going to come down here to where it says format cells. Okay, let me move this up here so you can see. So it's going to tell you right now it's a number. It's just a general number, which is why it looks like this. We want it to be a percentage. Okay, so this is showing you right here an example of what your percentage is going to look like. I told you to do it to one decimal place, so you'll click on that and change it to 1. Let's press OK. And now we have all these pretty percentages instead of that big giant mess of a decimal number. All right. Now, next step, type 15% in cell G7. Okay, G, right, 7. So we just do 15%. Okay. Again, copy and paste. Let's make life easier here, people. Okay. And type 10% in cell H7. So H7, over here we're going to do 10%. Okay. Copy, paste it all the way down. Okay, great. And next step, copy these percentage values down. Okay, so we just did that. Center the data in the 3 percentage columns. So we have these 3 percentage columns. This is our data. Okay, so highlight, and then you come over here to your alignment group. Okay, click on center. This is your left, this is your right, and this is center. And now our data looks nice and centered. Okay. All right. Where are we? In column I, calculate the bartender's tip amount by multiplying the drink value by the bartender tip rate. Okay, so this is column I. So you can get your cursor in there, make sure you're working in cell I7. Okay, and you're going to start out with your formula. It's going to be an equal sign. You're going to multiply the drink value, so that's going to be this. Okay, and then multiplication in Excel is the little star. Okay. You're going to multiply it by 15% because that's the percentage the bartender gets tipped out of the drink total. Okay. Press enter, and that tells you, okay, you're going to tip out your bartender $1. Again, copy, paste all the way down. Very nice. If you see a 0, don't freak out. The reason there's a 0 there is because these people, maybe they just drank water, okay, or they didn't have anything to drink. So there's no reason to tip your bartender when there was no drinks. Okay, moving on. Column J, calculate the assistant's tip rate by amount, or tip amount by multiplying the tip left value by the assistant tip rate. Okay, put your cursor in here, start off with your equal sign, go to tip left, okay, do your star, and multiply by 10% right there. Press enter. Voila. Okay, again, copy and paste. There you go. Okay. Column K, calculate your net tip after you give the bartender and server assistant their share of the tips. So how are we going to figure that out, guys? Okay, we use our logical brains here. Start off with our equal sign. You're going to take your total tip amount left, and you're going to subtract, right? So you put in your minus sign, you're going to subtract this, and you're also going to subtract this, right? So you press enter, and this is the total amount of tip left for you after you tip out your bartender and your assistant. Yet again, copy, paste, okay? Press escape to get rid of that little annoying box, okay? Apply currency format to the monetary columns. So what are the monetary columns? These are monetary values, right? Okay, I just showed you how to format percentages here with our right click. You can do that, or you can come up here, click on this, and click on currency. Now these are formatted as currency. Same thing here, this data, this is also monetary or currency. Okay, click on currency. There you go. Apply borders around tip rates and tip amount sections similar to the existing borders. So just like we have this kind of border here. Okay, so you're going to highlight the area that you want your border around. Here, let's look at view, page layout. Where are borders? Borders, borders, borders. I think we can here, format cells, okay, come to border. And from here you just select what kind of border that you want. So you just want an outline, okay. Same here, highlight, right click, format your cells again, border, we just want an outline, click OK. And there we go. Save as, I'll save mine to my desktop. This can be, what did I tell you guys to name it? Server last first, okay, so server _ Johnson. How nice my name is on there. Ha ha ha. Jessica Johnson, Excel workbook, save. Changes our name up here. And this is what you should end up with. So I know that was fast, but I hope that helped you guys. Let me know if you have further questions. Thanks.